you guys? It's Brandy. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Today's video is going to be the part 2 of the other 2015 favorites that I already posted, which was my hair favorites, and that was quite a long video. Hopefully this one won't be as long because kind of like in 2015 I didn't really get into makeup like I am now until like near the end of 2015, so I don't have as many beauty favorites as most of the vloggers on here have who actually do makeup and that's what their channel is about. So I'm going to try to zoom through these products rather quickly, so hopefully you guys will enjoy it. So if you are interested in finding out what my 2015 beauty favorites are, then just stay tuned. Okay, you guys, so starting off, I want to have some type of order to this video, like all of them, because it just makes it easier for me to like go back and look at it, to edit it and all of that. And I feel like it's probably easier for you guys to follow too if there's some type of order to it, especially if you want to use some of these products. You can easily zoom past or fast forward the video to that particular section. So I want to start off by how I actually apply the products to my face when I'm doing my makeup. And I always start off with these eyebrows because I feel like the eyebrows frame your face, and if you don't have a good shape for your eyebrows and you don't have good products for your eyebrows, then your whole makeup look is just off. So I want to start off with those. I have 4 products here that I solely use for my eyebrows, starting off with the 2 that I use to fill in my brows. Now at the beginning of 2015 I discovered something called Dip Brow Pomade by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This stuff was like a gem for me. When I found this, it's like the heavens opened up and they made this product especially for my eyebrows. Now it did take me a while to figure out how to use this, but the reason that I love it so much is because a little bit of this goes a long way. I love this so much because they have a variety of shades that will match your hair color, all of that, whatever you want it to look like. So that's why I've been using it. It is a little bit harsh if you're too heavy-handed with it, but once you get the hang of it, you can do your eyebrows in like minutes. Now since I've gotten my hair colored, I have been using the 2 of these products. This is their Brow Wiz pencil. I've been using the 2 of these together, whereas before when I first discovered Brow Wiz and tried it out, I would just use it on its own if you want that really natural eyebrow look where you're not trying to be super glam and you just want to fill in those sparse hairs a little bit. I would definitely recommend just doing that Brow Wiz pencil, but for me I've been combining them together. I went and picked up an Auburn one which was a reddish color, so I used the 2 of these together just to get that nice red tint to my brows that I like to have, and I can, you know, amp it up a little bit. I can have just a subtle, you know, red tint to it. So I really love these 2 together and it makes my eyebrows pop. Now in terms of cleaning up under my eyebrows, because sometimes I do go overboard and the shape is just way off, I like to reach for my MAC Studio Finish Concealer, and this is in the shade NW30. I've been using this since I first learned about, you know, grooming your eyebrows and filling them in and all of that good stuff. So this also has lasted me a long time. This is the only one I've ever purchased, and I think I've had this for about 2 years. I'm ashamed to say that because you're not supposed to keep makeup for too long. This has worked really great. It's a great shade as well. It's not too stark of a difference from my skin tone. It's just a nice highlight where it's maybe 2 shades lighter than my skin tone. So these 2 here have been my go-tos for most of 2015. This one here is the MAC Strobe Cream. Like I said, I'm not sure if this is actually a primer because it's very hydrating and moisturizing, and it also gives you a luminosity to your skin underneath your makeup. So that's why I really love this. Sometimes I will combine this with other primers that are for like pores and, you know, filling in fine lines, but for the most part, I really like to use this on its own underneath my makeup just to give me a nice dewy finish because my skin has been dry lately. Love this so much. And then this other product here, oh my gosh, I've raved about this, gone to the moon and back about this product. This is the Josie Maran Argan Enlightenment Illuminizer. I can normally never remember the name of this when I'm doing my voiceovers for my makeup tutorials, but it's a long name and I love this. I don't think this is a primer either. It's just a luminizer that you put on underneath your makeup, but a lot of times I substitute this as a primer for me because it's really moisturizing with the argan oil in it, and it's also nice and luminous. Now moving on to my actual like foundations. Now I do have some BB creams and also 3 other foundations that I like and I loved using. Now the first one is the BB creams, because these are for the days when I don't really want to wear a whole lot of makeup, and for the summertime. These were like the exclusive products that I use, because normally in the summertime it's hot, you don't really want to have a full face on, you don't want a ton of makeup just dripping off of you when you're sweating. So BB creams are great for that. These are the Maybelline Dream Fresh BB creams, and I love that they have SPF in them. They're really, really lightweight, and they also give you a nice luminous glow as well, because they're not mattifying or anything like that. In terms of liquid foundations, I have two here that were my go-tos. The first one is Maybelline Fit Me, and this is the Matte Plus Poreless, because during the summertime when I discovered this one, I was still battling with oily skin, so this worked out really, really great for me. And I even still like using it now where my skin is combination skin, because I find that it doesn't make me too matte like some foundations can do. And it's the great shade. This is in the shade Toffee Caramel. That was the thing I loved about it the most, because with drugstore products, it's really hard sometimes to find your perfect shade with the undertones that you have. But this line was great for me, because I do have those yellow undertones to my skin, and a lot of times I can't really find that. It'll be a little bit too light for me. So loved this one so, so much. And then the other one is the one that I found out about near like when my skin was transitioning to combination dry skin, and this is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. It is a bit pricey, I will tell you guys that, because when I first picked it up, this was like my first high-end foundation. It works so well. It gives you such a beautiful like finish to your skin where you don't really have to set this. It's not too dewy or too luminous where you'll feel like you're walking around glowing all day, but it really gives you a nice finish. I love it so much, and this was also a nice shade for me too. Not so much in the summertime when I first discovered it, but now during the winter time, this is perfect for my skin tone. It's like the perfect shade, and this one is in 9.0. And then the last foundation is a powder foundation, which I had never tried before. I really didn't like powder foundations for some reason. I don't know why. I always just felt like it was gonna make my face look too cakey and make it look like I had on foundation. But I decided to go ahead and try the Bare Minerals. The reason that I liked it is because it has SPF in it. It also gives you a nice luminous glow to your skin. That's what I'm all about now, is this nice healthy glow. Makes it look like you're glowing from within. And this is a really lightweight powder. So I only discovered this near like November, December. But if I would have known about this earlier on, I would have been rocking this all during the summertime, because I feel like this is the perfect foundation for the summertime as a powder foundation, because it's so lightweight. And I'm actually wearing this today, and it gives me such a nice glow. This would be the perfect product to take with you if you're traveling and you don't want to have too many products, because you could literally put this on, put some mascara on, do your brows, and be out of the door. Now going on to my concealers, because I feel like that's really what makes your look pop and have your eyes bright, your face bright, and all of that. So I have two here with me that I've been exclusively using. The first is the Naked Skin by Urban Decay, and this is in the shade Medium Dark Warm. And then I have the MAC Prolongwear Concealer, and this is in the shade NC42. You will think like I use these every single day, I should already know what the shades are, but I always forget. I love using these two. They are a different type of formulation, which is why I like to use them together. This one here, which is the Urban Decay, it's more of a liquid foundation, not as full coverage as I like a lot of times, but it's really easy for you to like maneuver it underneath your eyes and pat it away, and it makes it where it's nice and still hydrated, because I find that underneath my eyes, that's like the driest part on my face, and a lot of times that's why I get a lot of creasing. So I like to use these together, because the studio finish is definitely, it's not going to budge all day long. So it gives you that nice full coverage that you want. So I like to mix the two of these and get the best of both worlds. Okay, now the next step I normally take is basically locking in that concealer and making sure that it does not budge at all. And I like to use setting powders for that. Now I have two here that I use exclusively. The first one I want to talk about is my favorite of the two, and this is the Airspun Loose Face Powder. You can find this at Walmart, maybe Target, I'm not sure, but I know I pick it up at Walmart, and it's very inexpensive. I love the consistency of it because it's very finely milled, and the shade of it is not just white as most translucent powders are. I'm not sure if you guys can pick that up, but it has a little bit of a pinkish or yellowish tint to it, so you don't have that white cast underneath your eyes. So I really like using this, and I'm always saying this differently, Laura Mercier, however you pronounce it. This is the translucent powder, and I like to use this when I'm doing a glam look because I feel like it really locks in my concealer and highlight and all of that really well. But I do find that it makes me a lot drier underneath my eyes. I'm not sure if that's what it does for a lot of other people, but for me it tends to do that. So I don't like to use this on a regular basis. Moving on to the next part that I would actually do in my makeup routine would be my eyes. So in terms of that, most of the times I don't really wear eyeshadow on like a regular basis to work or during the week. Let me open this shirt up because I'm looking like an old lady sitting here. But most of the days I don't really wear eyeshadow to work. I just put on like maybe an eyeliner, or I'll put on some falsies, or just put on some mascara and leave out of the door. But days when I do want to wear a little bit of eyeshadow, I always reach for this Urban Decay Primer Potion. For the two palettes that I always gravitated towards for 2015, these are the eyeshadow palettes that I love. This one here is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar, and this one here is the Morphe 350 palette. I'm going to talk about the chocolate bar first because this was actually my very first like real eyeshadow palette that I spent money on, that I actually paid money for, that I went into a store and bought. And the colors in here, I wanted to start out with something really, really nice and neutral. And I would definitely suggest that if you're someone just getting into makeup, as I've been saying with a lot of products, I would suggest this palette here because it's really, really nice in terms of the colors. It not only gives you really neutral colors, but it also gives you some pop of colors with the purples and with the shimmers and all of that. In terms of the Morphe 350, you guys know I've been loving this in 2015 because most of my makeup tutorials have featured this in some way. This is also somewhat of a neutral palette, but it also stems off. It's kind of like a fall neutral palette to me because it has all of these nice burnt oranges and reddish colors in it, and then you also have your whole row or area here of nice neutral colors, even elegant colors where you can spice up your look if you're going out to dinner or somewhere and you want an elegant look. This is like the go-to palette for that. So I find myself always reaching for this when I want to do a really quick makeup look and I don't have a lot of time. It's a no-brainer. I can reach for this and get so many different looks from this one palette. In terms of my eyelashes, you guys, if you've been following my channel, you already know what I'm about to talk about, and that's the L'Oreal Telescopic Carbon Black Mascara. Look how thin this little wand is here. It's super thin, making it easy for you to grip every single eyelash you have on your face. It really elongates your eyelashes, but it also separates them. That's what I really like the most about this, is the fact that it separates them so much and really coats it and gets it in there where you can get those small inner corner eyelashes as well as the outer corner eyelashes. So really great. And then in terms of falsies, this is something I definitely discovered in 2015. You guys know I talked about how hard it was for me to apply lashes. Friends of mine would have lashes on and they would look so cute, and I was just like, oh my gosh, why can't I figure out how to apply lashes? And then one day I sat down and I said, you know what, I'm just going to sit here and practice until I get this together. And I have it together, honey. And these are my favorites. These are the Ardel Demi Wispies. These are actually the ones that I'm wearing today because they really look nice and natural on your eyes, where it doesn't look too overdone to the point where I could probably wear these every day. I even wear them to work sometimes when I want to jazz my look up and perk myself up a little bit more. Okay, the next thing in my step will normally be contouring, and what I like to use for that is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit. This is actually my customized kit, so I chose all of the colors in this. I think you can choose it on the actual website. If you go into Sephora, they have the pre-made kits, but I cannot remember the shades in this one. As you can see, it has been heavily used, and I want to first just talk about this shade. This is Banana, which comes in all of the pre-made kits, and this is more so for highlight. I will usually just tap a little bit of this banana color underneath my eyes just to brighten it up a little bit if I feel like the concealer didn't do enough and I have major bags on certain days. And in terms of the contouring colors, I like to use all three of these. The darkest shade, I tend to use that for the hollows of my cheeks and also around my forehead underneath here to get rid of that double chin and all of that. In terms of my nose contour, I like to use these lighter colored shades because they're not as grayish as this one is when you use for your actual cheekbones and stuff like that, because it's better for you to use a grayer tint for your cheekbones because that makes it look a lot more natural. But in terms of my nose itself, since it's in the center of my face, I feel like using warmer colors is fine for that. So I use the two of these, just blend them together with a nice small brush and just go along the sides of it to make, you know, that nose just snap and snatch together, all of that. Next, I go on to my blushes, and you guys know, if you have watched a few of my makeup tutorials, I am always using Wet n Wild blushes. These were the first blushes that I was ever introduced to when I started wearing makeup, because I think they're only $1.99 or $2.99 at CVS, Walgreens, all of those places, and they really give you a nice color payoff also. Now, I have graduated from these since then. I don't have them on today, but they give you a really nice color. They're great and affordable. The only downside to them is that they don't have a large variety of them. It may be only like 5 shades, but these are pretty much everyday shades. You have like a darker berry shimmer color, which is here, and then the mellow wine. And I also love the one that's called pearlescent pink, which I have like destroyed that one, so I didn't even put it in this, you know, video. But these are really great, especially if you're just starting out with makeup. Nice and affordable, great consistency of them, and they give great color payoff as well. In terms of my highlight, because you know we have to have that highlight on fleek, 2015 was like the year of the highlight, strobing, all of that, and two of them that I love so much and continue to use, and I actually am wearing them today, if you guys can see this highlight here that's going on. The first one is the Becca Cosmetics, and this is the Champagne Pop. This is the one that YouTuber Jaclyn Hill came up with or formulated with Becca. This was such a great highlight and still is. I love the gold tint to it, so if you're someone who's brown skin, this is the perfect highlight for you. Even for fairer skin tone ladies, this would be great as well. But for us girls, us brown skin, cafe, mocha type girls, chocolate, all of that, this is a great highlight, and it will have it popping. The other one is one that I've recently, you know, been able to find and use, and this is the Laura Geller Gilded Honey, and it's the Baked Gelato Swirl Illuminator. I had the hardest time working with this originally because I feel like it doesn't pick up. You have to have the right kind of brush to pick it up with for you to get a really nice color payoff. But I found that using it with a nice fan brush and spraying it with a little bit of Fix Plus spray or even water and then tapping it in here, it really takes your highlight to the next level. So really have been loving this. Now I just want to talk about one tool, and this here is my beauty blender. It's my dirty beauty blender. I used it today, but this is the Pro. I also have like the regular one that's pink, but this right here, this has helped my makeup game go to the next level because it's just so great in terms of like patting in your makeup. When you're using liquid foundations, this is like your best friend because it will have it blended out so evenly, so flawlessly, so well. And also, if you're someone who doesn't like a really heavy type of foundation look or finish, then this is great for you because it definitely evens it out a lot and kind of soaks up a lot of the product, which is only the downside to it. You use a lot more product when you use a beauty blender. But if you're someone who doesn't really have any blemishes on your face and you just like to use foundations in order to seal the deal and to kind of make you have a more even look, then a beauty blender is great for that. It's an all-in-one type of tool where you could literally do your entire face with just this beauty blender. You could do your foundation with it, you can do your contour with it, you can do your concealer, highlighting, all of that with it. You can even do your actual highlighting with your with like your Champagne Pop and all of that with this one tool. Okay, now moving on to the lips. I'm going to start out with my liquid lipsticks because I feel like they took over in 2015 and still are like leading in the lipstick industry in the game. So I want to talk about some of my favorites. Most of them are from ColourPop, believe it or not. I'm actually wearing one of my favorites on my lips today, and this is Limbo. It's a nice, rich, deep, dark brown color. So I'm going to talk about that one first. This is what it looks like in its little container. And by the way, I want to go ahead and tell you guys that I did just put up a video not too long ago of ColourPop lipstick swatches. So I will also link that in the description box below and at the little eye over here or over here where you guys can check it out. And I featured most of these lip colors as well. Now this one, as I said, is Limbo. It's like a deep dark rich brown color, which I love wearing, especially when my hair is slicked back and things like that. The next color here is LAX. This is just a darker red color, and I really love this so much, especially when you don't have much on the eyes. A nice wing liner with this color alone will have you looking put together in no time. So really love this one so much. The only downside about this particular one is how it actually applies to your lips and how it wears throughout the day. Now I do find that with the darker ones, just like the one I have on now, the inner part of my lips, from me talking so much and kind of like the saliva, it kind of wears it off a little bit, and it does the same with this particular color as well. I don't find that that's the case with the lighter colors or the pinks and, you know, neutral colors, but just keep that in mind with the darker shades. Now the next color from ColourPop here is Tulle, one of my hands down favorites, a color that I literally can wear every single day with everything. I can probably even have it on today, even though I have on some red, because it's just like the perfect mauvey pinkish neutral color for me, and it goes so well with my skin tone. I have so many pictures on Instagram with this, and literally every single time I post a picture and I'm wearing this, someone asks me what's the color, and this is normally what it is. It's Tulle by ColourPop. And then the other liquid lipstick that I have here, this is by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is one of her liquid lipsticks, and it's in the shade Heathers. I find that the Anastasia Beverly Hills formulation is a lot better than the ColourPop because it doesn't dry my lips out as much. Like if my lips are a little bit on the dry side before I wear it, I won't be uncomfortable with wearing it all throughout the day as I would if I had on a ColourPop liquid lipstick. The last liquid lipstick that I have here, this is by Kat Von D, and this is in the shade Lolita. It was so hard for me to find this particular color because everyone loved this, because it's something that's universal that almost any skin tone can rock, and rock it really well, even though it will look different on everyone. Now, moving into like actual lipsticks from like liquid lipsticks, moving on from that, I have quite a few here, and they are all surprisingly by MAC. I kind of want to go in order with them of how I discovered them in 2015. First one is Flat Out Fabulous. This is a nice, really pinkish shade, and this is one of their retro matte colors. Okay, the next one is All Fired Up, and this is just an even more kind of electric pink color, more so on the pinkish side as opposed to Flat Out Fabulous, which has a little bit of purplish tint to it. So really loved All Fired Up as well as Flat Out Fabulous. And the next colors are all neutral colors, surprisingly, because I love wearing neutral colors, especially like during the week going to work. You don't want to be all glam, you don't want to be like all out there in everybody's face. So the first one that I picked up from MAC was this one, and it's called Cherish. This is one of their satin finishes, which I don't always like satin finishes all the time, but I always tend to put on some type of lip gloss on top of it. But this is just a really pretty color. I feel like it will go with a lot of different skin tones as well, not just mine, but you know, someone who might be a little bit darker than me, and pairing this with a nice brown lip liner is just perfect. Okay, the next one that I picked up from MAC after that one was Velvet Teddy, which is not that different from Cherish. Is just like a little bit more of a brown or a peachy color to it. This one here is not Cherish. This one here is Velvet Teddy, and it's also matte, which is why I picked it up and liked it. And then the very last one that I have that I recently discovered is called Peach Stock. And this one was something that kind of scared me a little bit when I first applied it to my lips, because I was like, oh my gosh, that's really bright. But when you pair this with a nice brown lip liner, as I do with all of these nude colors, it's perfect. And I always, for some reason, I always have to wear a gloss with this one in particular, because just putting it on alone, I find that it does streak a little bit on my lips because I have a lot of fine lines in my lips. So I always have to wear this one with a gloss in particular because it is a satin finish also. This here is a lip gloss, and this is by MAC. This is their Cream Sheen Glass, and this is in the shade Boy Babe. This is a really nice neutral color, and this is what I like to wear a lot of times on top of my nude lip colors. So whenever I'm wearing Cherish, whenever I'm wearing peach stock, this is what I'm always putting on top of that, just to give it that nice glowy look or that nice shiny look to it, where it's not too shiny or overdone. It's just like the right amount. So love using this. And lastly, I have my lip liners here that I always like to use, and they will literally go with all of these lipsticks here. Now the one lip liner that I like to wear with most of my pinkish or purplish lip colors is Night Moth by MAC, because it is a nice dark purple color. I'm not sure if you guys can really see that or if it's picking up on camera. I may do some close-ups, but it's a really nice purple color. And I even will rock this with a red lipstick sometimes if I want it to be that darker ombre color on the outside of it, but it's just a really nice deep dark purple color. And then in terms of my neutral color lipsticks, this one here is Cork. This is just a lighter brown, which I find that I wear most times, especially with peach stock, but sometimes I'll put it on with Cherish. It's just a nice neutral type of brown color, and I feel like it's closer to my skin tone. And then the other one that I would like to wear with my neutral color lipsticks, this one here is Cork. No, this one is Chestnut. The other one was Cork, but this is Chestnut by MAC, and this is just a darker brown color. You guys, I am out of breath. Clearly, I underestimated how long this video was gonna be. I didn't realize I had this many products, because when they were sitting out here, it didn't look like that many, but just talking about them, I'm reliving why I love them so much. And some of these that I have not used for a while, I'm actually gonna be going back to again, because I realized just how much I love them. So hopefully you guys found this video really helpful. You enjoyed listening to these products. If you haven't used any of them, now's the time to try some. Let me know what your 2015 beauty favorites were, so I can see, you know, if I want to go out and purchase some of them or whatnot. Okay, so that is it for this video, you guys. If you are not a subscriber, make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and show your girls some love. And until next time, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.